My name's Mark Tonner. The reason why I'm here is because I decided to deadlift for 24 hours to raise awareness for suicide prevention.
Why deadlifting for 24 hours? I'll go to the gym. Like deadlifting for me, it's nasty. It's nasty. So what urged you to want to do it for 24 hours?
So, the main goal about the 24-hour deadlift challenge, the Lift for Life, is it's suicide prevention.
Okay.
And the easiest way of putting the point across of why it's a deadlift is because people walk around every day with that much weight on the shoulders. They can't handle that weight anymore and they take their own life.
Okay.
Whereas I wanted to represent that weight in such a way where I would lift that all day.
Okay.
And I'll still be here to talk to you at the end of it. So if I can't lift, if I lift 24 hours, that is nowhere near the amount of weight on a person's shoulder when they're in them dark days. So that's why I picked the heaviest or the only exercise that you do to lift weight,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Which is the hardest one, really. You've got a squat, but I don't really fancy. That might be an idea for next year.
A squat.
Squat for 24 hours. I don't think my legs can handle it. But a deadlift
Deadlifts
is
are hard enough.
you're picking the weight up, you're putting it down, and that to me symbolises you need to release the weight.
Okay.
And if I lift, like last year, I lifted 200,000 kilo. This year, I'm going to double that. So it's more about if I help just one person
Okay.
in that 24 hours realise that all they need to do is talk to people, that's it, worth it. It's done. That person has stopped themselves from committing suicide. And that's what it's all about. It's just the prevention. Me personally,
I was actually about
I
to.
have lost a lot of people to
Yeah.
suicide that I've worked with, that I've known, that, are close to me.
Yeah.
And I can't deal with that because they know exactly what what I stand for.
Okay.
And if they just spoke to me, I'd have talked them round.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like dark days are amongst everybody's life. And if I can lift someone's day up, then I will. And that isn't, if I'm lifting weight for 24 hours to help people realise that, then that's what I'll do.
Okay. So just rewind a little bit there. Is it more personal?
Yeah, it is for me.
Right. Okay.
So I was in the army for 15 years. I was an infantry. I commanded men in a number of places around the world. I was blown up and lost the use of my right arm.
Okay.
And coming from the sort of person I was then to a broke individual, mentally and physically, and I weren't allowed to do the job that I was very good at, it really, what was my purpose? What was my point?
Okay.
You know what I mean? What was the whole reason of me living? I couldn't support my family. I couldn't support myself. I couldn't tie my own shoelaces. And I tried to kill myself twice. The first time, I nearly flew off a bridge off a motorway about 120 mile an hour in a manual car I shouldn't have been driving. But it wasn't for I passed a car with a young woman and a child sat there, and I backed off. I didn't do it, but the intent was there, and if they weren't there, I don't think I'd be here. And then I actually got told that my arm would never work, so that was it for me. That was a sort of nail in the coffin sort of thing.
Okay.
And the second time, the rope snapped. But the funny thing was, well, it's not funny. The weird thing is I had a picture of my girls in my wallet, and as I hit the floor, the wallet fell out, and this picture fell out the wallet. I know that's very that's a film, but no, that's actually what happened.
No, if that's what happened.
And then 2 days later, I found out that my girls were being molested. So that gave me a different sort of pain that I'll never get rid of. And the way I see myself now is, I've got to be here. Who else is going to look after them? Like, I've got small babies, I've got small boys. They don't need to see their dad that way. And I feel guilty for letting my girls see me that way. And I've tried over the years to heal that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but no, it's more about, I've got a different pain now.
Okay.
When people say, oh, suicide's the easy way, I totally disagree. Because you've got to be going through some horrific pain to have them thoughts. And I'm not talking like physical pain. Mental pain is by far worse than physical. Physical pain heals.
Yeah. Okay.
Mental pain is an ache that won't go away. And it's the point where, you know, that gets too much. And it gets too much where you don't care about what you do. You don't care about the people around you. Whereas I got forced to. And I in a way, that was my wake-up call.
Okay. So kind of like a turning point.
Yeah, it was a turning point. And I knew I couldn't go anywhere. Because if I'd have carried on, if that second attempt worked, I would never have known. And maybe it still happened afterwards. So it's like, you know, there's a reason why I'm still here. But yeah, it was it definitely changed the way I was thinking, but that was still not in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So from my injuries I sustained, I had a brain injury, and every time I get emotionally stressed, I'll fit on the floor. My brain will just can't handle anymore. It just shuts down.
Overload.
And that basically got a hell of a lot worse. I trapped my kids like prisoners for about 4 or 5 months. Didn't let them leave the house, didn't go out my sight. So it became an obsession of keeping them safe, until I realised I was pushing them further and further away. And that's what I try and apologise and make up for. But today is completely different. I don't want to be that person anymore.
Yeah.
I was a very angry man. Very. Everyone owed me something. No one could do anything good enough for me. And I got put in front of a young man that had been blown up in Afghan, who lost both legs and arm, and he had a hand. That was it, and he was a triathlete. And that sort of made me realise what is my excuse, really, for living like the way I do, where I wouldn't let nobody tie my shoelaces, I wouldn't let nobody I wouldn't wear shirts, I wouldn't wear shoes, I'd walk around in slippers, didn't care. I wouldn't have people cut my food up, I'd just eat it like a lollipop. It was one of them, it was too proud to be asking for help. And after meeting this young gentleman, I was, if that flipped the switch in me. So I started training for an Ironman. At that time, running was my therapy, because therapy for me doesn't work. It just triggers me to the point where I'm become suicidal, so I don't do it.
So you find your own way.
Find my own, and that particular time it was running, so I could run all day. So I ended up training for the Ironman. Once the Ironman was done, I got a massive, like it's called event depression, where you haven't got nothing to train for.
Yeah.
And that was bad for me. So I was starting to do other things, and I started swelling down that dark hole again, to the point where I started lifting. And I haven't stopped. To the point now where, you know, not many people are stronger than me with 2 arms. And what I lift and what I do, I don't do it for recognition. I don't do it for, you know, being famous. I do it because it fits me. Do you know what I mean? If my therapy now is to walk into a gym and get rid of all that anger.
Yeah.
That anger is what consumed me for a long time. And I don't really get angry anymore. I fight for my peace, if that makes sense.
You say you don't do it for recognition. They look bloody beautiful sat on the table, right?
Yeah, that's just 2 of them. That was one last weekend, and that was one just late in August. So an adaptive strongman, where I can lift more weight than most men. So you know what I mean. That's why I do it. I don't do it for any other reason. Is I want to push myself.
Yeah.
Pushing myself keeps me calm. Pushing myself keeps me that clear. I unleash the beast in the gym. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Or when I'm at an event, or do you know what I mean? Or doing a lift, I don't get angry. I don't really get engaged with people I don't need to be engaging with. So no, I fight for my peace.
So it's all about, really, it's all about internal mindset.
My internal mindset is far stronger now than what it has ever been.
Yeah.
Because of the tests, because of the trauma, because of what's happened, because of how it happened. I have had to adapt myself to be who I am now. And it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. That mental battle that you have to change your mindset to the point where you choose to be positive, regardless of what's going on behind you, is completely different. It's hard, because when you've got nothing but negativity being thrown at you, nothing but limits and restrictions put in your path,
Yeah.
what's the point? Whereas I'm not mentally resilient now. You tell me I can't do something, I'll go out my way to do it. Do you know what I mean? So there's not an argument there.
I love that. I love that. Like that sheer grit and determination to just go through a brick wall.
Oh, I've been going through a brick wall. I've been going through that many brick walls. I'm surprised I've not got concussion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, the brain injury. But no, it's not about that for me. Like you've had your worries about me in the past. You probably, out of every one of my mates, you probably see me in my darkest days, to be fair. But you've also seen how I get out of it.
Yeah.
You've also seen what I do to myself to get out of it. Like at one point, I got bars from the gym because I'd go in the gym in the morning, beast myself, come out, realise why I was angry, go back in the gym in the morning, and I'd do that 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, you're actually hurting yourself. You're not healing. You're just destroying yourself.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to get rid of that anger. But no, it's obviously paid off.
No, well, in a sort of roundabout way, it's definitely paid off, hasn't it? The way I remember you, the first time I ever met you was I was doing some door work in Harrogate, and what we had in the club, we had a colour code system. So if it's code red, then it's like get there now.
Yeah.
If it's amber, it's something make your way, but don't cause a scene. If it's green, it's just casual chit chat. I got a code red call to the top dance floor. So obviously, pegged it up there, and then all I'm greeting with is a chap dealing with a situation. It was just like I saw the armband, and I'm like, oh, you must be Mark.
You must be Mark. Yeah, a lot of people remember me.
You must be Mark.
Yeah.
But from seeing it from then to now, I can second the fact that you're a completely different person in a sense. The mindset has completely, it's evolved and got stronger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Strength is with calm.
Yes. Yeah.
But
And
it's also I gain strength through pain. And that's the effects of trauma that I was going through at the time. So I don't really feel physical pain. It's more mental pain. Physical pain, it's over in a few minutes. It's not going to last long. You know, it's going to hurt, but mental pain, that's stuff like I said, it's like an ache that doesn't go.
Yeah.
And it gets harder and more unresolved as it goes on. And I had to really fight for that. And when I first met you, should I have been a doorman with one arm, putting people at risk? No, because I did not care. I didn't. I cared more about other people than I did myself.
Yeah.
So I'd be the first one in. I'd be the first one there. I'd be the first one to take a punch if I needed to, because I knew full well I'd have you lot behind me. And that's what I was doing for. Even like in Iraq, even in Afghan, my lads came before me every day.
Yeah.
And that's why my lads would follow me into any situation that we were in or what we found ourselves in. And regardless of whether it's, I know it's completely different, but people say to me, "Oh, how are you a doorman with one arm?" Fuck about and find out.
Fair enough.
And if you think back then when we first doing that, I was about 6 stone lighter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I were about 6 stone heavier. So about 6 stone heavier.
You were a big boy.
I was a big boy. That's the thing. But anyway, enough about me. There's a statement I wanted to touch on that's stayed with me, that you always used to say, and I think you still do, I don't know, I might be wrong, but obviously mind over body.
Yeah.
Obviously we've touched on the fact of the gym became your therapy. Is that where that kind of originated from?
Yeah, so mind over body.
What does it mean to you?
It means to me is the stronger I can get my mind, the stronger my body will be. So I don't listen to my body. If I'm hurting, I'm hurting. Like I said, it's physical pain. It'll go soon. Mental pain is what stays for a long time. Creates trauma. So if you can control how your mind reacts to certain situations or to certain events or to certain what you're doing, you can control the outcome.
Yeah.
So mind over body for me is I will tell my body what I'm doing. So if I feel tired, we're carrying on. If I feel like I'm going to fall over and pass out, we're still going to carry on. If you have a negative effect or a negative mindset when regardless of doing anything, your body will follow. So if you have that slight doubt or slight thought in your head that you're not going to lift this, you're not going to lift it because you've already created the doubt. You've already created that resistance in the body.
Yeah, so for me, like I don't know this because I've never been in the military or anything like that. But do you think that's kind of come from you having a military background?
You've heard of the saying karma and chaos.
Yeah.
Being mentally ill I don't like talking about PTSD, but it is PTSD. You become hyper vigilant.
Okay.
So when most people get red mist, so for instance, if you're in a fight with someone, all you'll see is that person, all you'll hear is that person. You don't really remember what actually went on at that time because you're involved in that. You've got atmospheric asphyxiation. You're controlled onto that person. Your whole concentration is just on what he's doing.
Yeah.
Whereas the military makes you realise what's going on around you. So if I walk into a fight, I'm looking at everyone. I'm hearing everyone. It's like everyone slows down.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? And that's how it gets machined into you. You need to react and to be calm under chaos, just in case something else happens that you don't see.
Yeah.
There's no point just rolling in, guns blazing with your blinkers on. So when it comes to doing that, I changed that to my body is causing the chaos. My mind can't control this chaos, so I need to control it. I don't have any doubt. I don't have any disbelief in my capabilities. If it's new, I will try it. If I can't do it, I will find a way of doing it.
Yeah.
And once I found that way, I can only make that way better. And then that becomes my way. Just like I did with my shoelaces. I don't tie my shoelaces like normal people, like the normal way you would, like the normal way I grew up with.
Yeah.
I do it my way. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to mind over body. You need to do it your way. Yeah. Because if you try and follow suit, you create doubt. Once you got that doubt, you ain't doing it.
Yeah, in fact, like you said, finding your own way of doing things.
Yeah.
For me, it actually helped me a lot when you used to talk about mind over body and things like that. I kind of found a focus in fitness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it kind of gave me the kick up my ass in a sense as well. Yeah. To get from point A to point B.
That's all you need. Is a point A and a point B. People get confused with getting a point C and a point D and a point D and a point F.
And then you end
up trying to do all the stuff.
You just overcomplicate, don't you?
If you look at what I've achieved over the last 5 years, regardless of what I do for work, to me, work is work. I work hard. I very rarely have a rest. But that's another part of me that I won't allow. If I stand still and do nothing, that's detrimental for me.
Yeah.
I need to be busy all the time.
Yeah.
And when it comes to my personal life, yes, it has an effect. Yes, it has a bit of a, you do your work all the time. Yeah, but it's also a good thing.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't, I would get ill. And I don't want to be ill. so I avoid having a lot of time off like the plague. So my work ethic is just as high as my mental state. And I try and keep it that level. When I start going, start getting burnout, then I will take a week off, but I'll still train every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe twice a day.
Keep that continuity.
Continuity, as long as I'm not running around and doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when we first met, I didn't sleep. We used to sleep on if you think about it.
Oh my God,
yeah. Monday night, Tuesday
God.
night, Wednesday night, we'd have Thursday off, so I'd sleep Thursday, we'd have Friday and Saturday, and I'd sleep Sunday. That was my sleep. And I was doing a day job, an afternoon job, and an evening job. So it was like, what? Do you know what I mean? Where did it come from?
I never knew how you did it.
Just didn't sleep.
I'm not even joking.
Look at the educational side of stuff that I learned. I did a 8-month course in 3 months because I didn't sleep. I stayed up for 20 odd hours or whatever it was, and I smashed out every part of that course as I could. And when he's like, "Oh, you've done it in 2 months," I said, "Well, you have a look at the learning hours. I've actually exceeded more than what I needed to do."
Yeah.
So they were like, "Well, you have, yeah." He's like, "Well, do you know what I mean?"
Can I have a certificate now?
Yeah, exactly. But that was just a realisation of I'm now leaving the forces. I joined the infantry. I didn't leave school with a lot. And I had to re-educate myself very quickly. And I used the skills that I got from the army, teaching. So I was good at it. So why not carry on?
No, absolutely. Let's go back to Live for Life.
Yep. The Lift for Life is a challenge. It is a hard challenge. I'm not going to... Like, I've done a lot of stuff in the army. And I've done a lot of stuff outside the army. And yet, the way I do my Lift for Life is probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Okay.
Because I couldn't walk for 3 days after that, right? So, when I explain the Lift for Life is, I go with the goal to beat my previous score.
Okay.
Right? So... I got 250,000 kilo last year.
That's
so
mental.
I'm doubling that.
That is mental.
So hopefully I'm going to double it this year. But everybody has their own goal.
Yeah.
So if you've never been in a gym before, I would advise you to go and get some training, some education on how to do a deadlift, just so you don't put your back out. But you don't have to lift 200,000. You could lift 10,000 in that 24 hours. You could lift 1,000 in that 24 hours. It is not about the actual lifting.
Okay.
It's about you holding that weight in a lift so people can understand that you show support for suicide prevention.
Okay.
That's it. You're taking the weight off that person. That's in emphasis. That's what I'm doing. So if you want to stand there and lift 50 kilo once every hour, that's fine. That's your lift. That's your goal. That's you doing your bit to help prevent suicide. So people understand that you are approachable if people are feeling dark. Now, you have got people, you can have people that are athletes, that are deadlifting every week, whatever. Try and beat me.
I love it.
Do you know what I mean? I don't care how you think you're going to, but I know what my game plan is, and I know what the number I'm looking at, and 9 times out of 10 I'll go past it because of the day. Now, this year, so the first time I did this 4 years ago, I did it by myself.
Okay.
Nearly got put in the back of an ambulance.
That just says how blooming hard it
but
is.
that was me not understanding what I was about to do. So at the time, 200 kilo deadlift was not heavy. Not heavy for me. Still not heavy, but it's not heavy for me. But I tried to do that for the 24 hours.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
No.
I lasted about 4 hours before my body started to really feel the pain. And then at about hour 6, I had to drop the weight, and then it was consistently being dropped after every hour because I exerted all the energy that I had to the point where my body shut down.
First few hours.
Do you know what I mean? I was actually on the floor shaking. They put a load of blankets on me. I heard the word ambulance. I shot back up and started lifting again because I don't get in an ambulance.
No.
That's physical pain, mental strength. I'm getting up and I'm going to do it regardless. If I fall down and do it while I'm doing it, I pass out while I'm doing it. I don't care, but I'm still going to be doing it.
Yeah.
So each year, this challenge has got progressively better and it's getting bigger. Now, the goal for this year is I've made it into a competition. So there's 3 categories you can enter. You can enter the individual category, which you go in and you try and lift the most in 24 hours.
Okay.
Or you can just lift your goal. But the fundamental part is raising awareness for suicide prevention.
Yeah.
That's it. Then you've got the team category. You can have a team of 5. Yeah, and you can and all your weights will be accumulated together. And if you're the strongest team, you're the strongest team.
Yeah.
And then the third category is your gym. So anybody who's a gym member, if a gym signs up, any gym member that they have can go in and can lift a few deadlifts, and put some weight on their total. Now, the individual and the team is more of the competition-based event.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So my team is not going to get beat. Do you know what
Strong
I mean?
mindset.
Exactly. So they're not going to get beat. So if I have a team of 5, and I will push my team to the point where they're doing a hell of a lot of lifts at a reasonable weight for them.
Yeah.
And there's obviously within the individual category, there are weight categories as well. So there's a 50 kilo category, a 75, 100, 130, 160.
Right. Okay. So what does that mean?
So basically,
to someone like me, I'm
in the 160 kilo category. I can't go heavier than 160. I can only go lower. Right. If you're in the 50 kilo category, you can only go 50 and below. You can't go heavier.
Okay.
So you have to stay in that weight category, basically. But you can go lower. You can never go above your category. And that's the only sort of rule that I put on. And because I've gotten a lot of people to do this, I've had to try and put the health and safety side into it. Like a deadlift is quite difficult.
It can be dangerous if you're doing it wrong.
Especially if you're doing it wrong. So what I've done is I've done it as an 18-inch lift, a silver dollar lift. So it's quite elevated. You're not putting too much pressure on your back. You're still going to feel the pain because it's 24 hours of lifting weight. Your body's going to be absolutely sapped. But that's where the health and safety side of it. Like if I was just doing it by myself again, I'd probably do it from the floor. But that's my risk.
Yeah.
I don't really want to risk other people's health.
Yeah.
So everyone's got health and safety. You will be signing waivers that you're doing this under your own free will, all that good stuff. So if you choose to do this, you're doing it for a different reason. And here's the reason. If you have never had any sort of relationship with suicide, you will struggle on this event. So this is where that mental strength comes in. I know what I'm doing it for. I've been there. I want to stop it because I've been there. I know the pain. That's my strength on that day.
So that's your why.
That's my why on that day. So, and everybody I've lost to it. That's what's going through my head. Now, the perfect example of this strength is this. Not last year, the year before, a lad was doing it and his body shut down. And I knew that he brought a photo of his brother who committed suicide. I put the picture in front of him. He carried on and he didn't stop. That's what I mean by your body will only have this freak. It'll tell you to stop. It wants you to stop. Your mind will say, nah, you're carrying on when I tell you to.
Hence the mind over body.
Hence the mind over body. So this is an event you win. You don't participate in this event. You've got to dominate it from the word go. So the winner of this event will be the Live for Life dominator.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? He has, or she has dominated this event to the point where she won't allow, or he won't allow, their mental state to affect their lift. And that is very difficult to do. And whereas my goal for this 24 hours is to make sure everybody keeps that strength. Make sure everybody understands why we're there. So I will be getting people to ring in. I will be getting people to ask them questions. I will be getting yourself, because you're the MC. You'll be speaking to them. You'll be gaining out all this information. The strength that you need to participate in this will test you. If you ever want to test your mental strength and your mental capability, this is the event for you. Now, next year is going to be bigger. This year is already big. So this year we're in Canada and this year we're in Germany. Why not the world next year? So, do you see what I mean? It's always evolving. It's always getting bigger. My end goal is to make sure the Live for Life 24-hour deadlift challenge is the biggest strength endurance event of the year. I know it's a far-fetched one.
It's a big one, but
I'm not going to stop. I'm still going to be doing this.
Dream big. You got to do it, haven't you?
But that's when it comes to it. And what makes this even more special is the charity.
What's the charity?
So the charity is Andy's Man Club. Now, I wish I found them 4 years ago, to be quite fair.
Okay.
Because every one of these lifts or everything building up, I've begged people to talk to people. Like I said before, therapy for me does not work. But I wouldn't stop people from, or advising people to try therapy. Do you know what I mean? I know it doesn't work for me, but I know it works for some. So I'm not going to take that away from them or make it an argument, because I don't believe it works for me. So mine is lifting weights or talking. Now I have yourself, I've got people that know when I go dark.
Yeah.
And if I go dark, people ring me, people talk to me. That's all it takes, is that conversation. And I've been saying for the last 4 years, just talk to someone. Doesn't matter if you know them, complete stranger, it doesn't matter. Now, this is exactly what Andy's Man Club do. They are saving lives every day.
Okay.
And I mean that. And I can't, unless you are a part of Andy's Man Club, and if you are struggling, go and find one. And you will understand exactly the words coming out of my mouth. Believe me, you will walk in there and walk out different. You will, honest to God, you can walk in there suicidal and you'll walk out and you're not. That's how strong and how it works, I don't know, couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you how the structure of it works, whatever else, but I know it works. I went to my first one on Monday, just gone, and I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people think, oh yeah, it's a group of men talk. No, it's not that at all. And it's like going to the pub with your mates.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of environment that you get out of it.
But you touched on that though as well, like just having that conversation.
But the thing is, if you know, there was a point where I wouldn't talk to anyone. You know, where I'd go dark and I would ignore everyone. That's why you turned up at my door.
Mm.
You forced that out of me. Where some people don't have that. Some people are, isolated. Some people don't have anyone to talk to. Or they think they haven't got anybody to talk to. Do you know what I mean? Even a random stranger could stop someone.
For me personally, I feel like I hate talking about this because it seems to be the reason for every bad thing in the world in the last couple of years. But since COVID hit us, I feel like we never used to talk anywhere, but now, because everyone was locked in their houses and things like that, people are talking less and less anywhere. You know what I mean?
And that's, to be fair, if you go back, 40 years, everybody knew the neighbours.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be inside the neighbours. You have to knock on the door, you'd walk in the neighbours.
I remember when I was younger.
How many people know their neighbours now?
Exactly, and then it's like, I remember when I was younger, you go out of the house, you wouldn't lock your door.
No.
You don't need to lock your door. Why the heck would you need to lock your door?
But that's the society we live in now. And the society we live in now is very social media orientated. How you look, how you present yourself, what you're wearing, who you're following. It's not about, like, me personally, if you're a decent human, be a decent human.
Yeah. Just be right.
Be right.
Just be
and this Andy's Man Club, I couldn't have picked a better charity for it, because, like I said, I've been doing it for 4 years, this lift. This will be the 4th year. And, all they do is get people to talk. All I have been talking about for 4 years is talk to someone.
Yeah.
Just talk. You don't have to tell them you're suicidal, but you talk to that one person and lifting your spirits up, or tell them that you're feeling dark, and they'll cheer you up. That'll stop it. And that's exactly what these do. And you know what? From leaving there Monday, I want to raise so much awareness, not only for suicide prevention, but for Andy's Man Club. They need the recognition. Yeah. They do. And I don't think they get enough of it.
Well, this is the thing. So I heard of, first time I heard of Andy's Man Club, it was through a friend of mine who's a DJ. Like, for those who don't know, I DJ and host, that's what I do. But a friend of mine, he's been banging the drum for Andy's Man Club for the last pre-COVID. I remember there's a lad called Ben. He's from Hull, right? And the Andy's Man Club over there, I think it was, I don't know if it was before or after COVID or whatnot, but I always remember him going live and walking on the beach. They just went on this long old walk on the beach, and he used to do it all the time and just just like a group of lads walking along a beach. You know what I mean?
Reset.
Yeah. So, like, that's how I remember Andy's Man Club. But obviously, that's all I know of it. I personally haven't had that experience. Thankfully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But luckily, I feel like I've got people I can talk to, like yourself, like a couple of my other friends and things. But for some people, I guess it'll be a case of they don't feel like they can pick up the phone.
No.
You know what I
and
mean?
that's the hardest thing now. People are so fast to judge people, but they don't know what that person's going through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you just really bit into this person. You don't know what's going on in that person's life. Now you just tipped that person over the edge. And I come off a lot of social media.
Yeah.
Because of that sort of thing. And I don't really want to go back to it. Like I said, I fight for my peace. I only allow what I want people to see. I don't, like, you've said it to me loads of times. If I had a bad ego, if I was arrogant and egotistical, I'd be famous. I don't want to be. I'm humble. I'm too humble. I've been humbled enough, okay, with trauma and whatever else. I know I'm not the best person. I'm not a saint. I am choosing my beast, if that makes sense. That peace I have is what I'll fight for. And if I have to fight, then that's your choice.
So, one thing we haven't said is how are you going to get involved?
So, the Lift for Life has got a website. If you find the Lift for Life social media on Instagram as the Lift for Life, Facebook, find me, Mark Tonner. All the information is on there. Our mission is to prevent suicide and to aid a charity to become better than what they are now, which if we do that, they are saving lives every day. Every day. And that's exactly what I want. Obviously, the charity is self-funded. We are raising money for them. There is a Just Giving link on the website. There is also hoodies on the website. Get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt or a jumper. All that goes back to Andy's Man Club. I hope to give them a big check at the end of it. Not just through the Just Giving. So all the hoodie sales, all the entry fees. I'm only taking out what I need to make this event bigger for them. I ain't doing anything else. It all goes to them. I want this to be as bigger for them as just it is for the Lift for Life. Because then next year, it's going to be bigger. I've already got the ideas for next year. You're going to love them. You might not like it at the time, but you're still going to love them. But
no, it's just like the time. It's just like the time you explained this idea to me, and I'm like, what was it? You asked me. I'm
going to melt your head.
No, you asked me to come for a coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
You asked me to come for a coffee.
Now we're taking on the world.
Simple. And then you were like, yeah, I've got this idea. Just sit down. My head just fell off. But if I'm honest...
You wouldn't be sat here if you didn't think
No, that's very true. That's very true. I wouldn't be sat in the studio talking about the Lift for Life. But
I want everybody talking about the Lift for Life because suicide is in every home.
Yeah, even... Hopefully, in my personal opinion, hopefully, if anything, it can prevent it before it even gets to that stage.
That's exactly what they do.
Well, you've invited me to one, so
you should come because
I do want to experience it.
You'll want to do this again.
Yeah,
you will want to do this again and again and again to the point where you'll see what happens there. To the point where you go, nah, we're going to raise as much as we can. We're going to get these as much backing as possible, and we're going to do it. Like. The goal for next year, well, I want to make the Lift for Life a charity-based organisation where, so we'll be backed by Andy's Man Club because they will always be a part of this now because what they do is unreal. But what I want to do is give that person that same sort of treatment that I had.
Okay.
So
in what way?
So instead of, so yourself, when you wanted to go to the gym, you didn't have a clue what you were doing. Yeah. You started new, you were nervous. I want to be able to buy you coaching to the point where you're getting physical, you're getting mental, you're getting a coach by a proper coach. They look after all your physical and mental attributes. So if you want to get into CrossFit, I'll get you a CrossFit coach. If you want to get into bodybuilding, you'll get a bodybuilding coach. If you want to do triathlons, you'll get a triathlete coach. And I will purchase all that and benefit you that way. Because when you've got a physical drive and you're moving, it's a lot easier to analyse what your body's doing. Do you know what I mean?
No, elaborate on that a little
So what I mean by what your body's doing, you're anxious.
Okay.
That's not a mindset. You're anxious as a reaction to a body effect. You're feeling depressed. That is still a body effect. I want you off that couch. I want you doing something physical. I want you to be moving. It releases endorphins, the happy hormone. That can only benefit you within your therapy. You can't be wrong.
Yeah.
It won't be detrimental unless you do it like I did at the beginning. But then you need someone that's going to give you, a
little bit of guidance.
A little bit of guidance. Say, listen, you can't train in a gym and do what you're doing each time 5 times a day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
basically, someone looking out for you.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what sport it is. It doesn't have to be a sport. If I don't know, if painting is what you need to do to stimulate your endorphins, I will pay for you to get coaching, lessons on how to paint, courses, all that sort of stuff. This is what it's all about. Having that mental stimulation to beat the suicide.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? And keep the dark at bay.
Yeah, and develop yourself.
Yeah. So
develop yourself.
That's what the plan is for next year. Plus, I'm thinking of another 2 events to do next year. And if you know anything about me, they ain't going to be easy. If people want to get involved, they know how to.
Yeah.
All the information's on the website.
What is the website?
The liveforlife.uk.
.uk?
Yeah, liveforlife.uk.
Love it. Love it. Well, Mr. Mark Tong, it's been an absolute privilege, absolute pleasure. Please say what you need to say to get us out.
So, I'm Mark Tonner. If I don't see you at the deadlift, I don't. If I do, well done you. You just have to do whatever you need to do to get through them 24 hours. And like I said, whoever lifts the most will be the 24-hour Lift for Life Deadlift Challenge dominator.
Sound. Do it. Top man.